Hey everyone, welcome. So glad you're here. Look, it doesn't matter if you're just starting to invest, if you're getting ready for retirement, or if you're just trying to figure out why your grocery bill is suddenly so much higher, you are in exactly the right place. We're about to break down something that is affecting your wallet right now, and more importantly, what you can actually do about it.
So let's start with a kind of a startling thought. Right now, this very second, there's a thief in your pocket. But it's not looking for your cash or your credit cards. No, it's after something way more fundamental. And the thing is, it works silently every single day.
And that thief? It has a name: inflation. You've heard the word, but what does it really mean? Well, it's this invisible force that slowly, quietly reduces what your money can actually buy. So the dollar you have in your hand today, well, it just won't stretch as far a year from now. Inflation isn't taking the dollar itself, it's stealing its buying power.
Now, I know that can sound like some kind of complex economic theory, but trust me, the main idea behind it is actually surprisingly simple. And to really get it, let's step away from the world of finance for just a minute, and let's take a little trip to the carnival.
Okay, picture a carnival, right? And it has a set number of rides. These rides represent all the goods and services available out there in the economy. Now, what do you think happens if all of a sudden everyone at the carnival is given a whole bunch of extra ride tickets? You've got way more tickets floating around, but the number of rides hasn't changed. So what do the ride operators do? Well, they raise the price, of course. One ticket doesn't get you on the Ferris wheel anymore. Now it costs 2 tickets, maybe even 3. And that, right there, is inflation in a nutshell. It's just more money chasing the same amount of stuff.
And here's the thing. This isn't just happening at some imaginary carnival. Nope. It is a real, synchronized event playing out right now all across the globe. So the big question is, why is this happening to pretty much everyone, all at the same time?
Well, a huge reason we're all feeling this pinch so much right now is because of these massive shakeups in global supply chains. The best way to think about it is like a giant traffic jam, but for products. When the flow of goods, from the factories all the way to your doorstep gets all clogged up in these bottlenecks, it just becomes more expensive to make and ship everything. And guess who those costs get passed on to? Us. So the really crucial thing to get here is that this is not some abstract problem for economists to debate about on TV. It is real. It impacts every single one of us, no matter our age or what we do for a living. It's the reason the price of a simple soda in the shop goes up. It's why the cost of building a new house is skyrocketing. And it's why your weekly grocery bill and the gas for your car just seem to keep climbing and climbing.
Hearing all that, it can feel a little helpless, right? Like you're constantly fighting this losing battle. But here's the good news. This is the empowering part. You might not be able to stop the thief, but you can absolutely protect your wealth from it. So let's talk about sealing your leaky bucket.
I want you to think of any cash you're holding, doesn't matter if it's in a savings account or stuffed under the mattress, think of it as a bucket of water. But this bucket has a slow, tiny, persistent leak in it. That leak, that's inflation. And if you just leave it there, unchecked, the value of what's inside that bucket is just going to steadily drain away, drip by drip.
Okay, now this right here is the core strategy. It's the golden seal for that leak. On the one side, you've got currency, that's your leaky bucket. But on the other side, you have assets, and that's the plug. Now, assets are things that have the potential to grow in value over time. Think of a piece of real estate or a share in a great company. Here's how it works. While the buying power of your dollar is leaking away by, let's say, 3% a year because of inflation, the value of a house in a good location might be going up by 5% a year because, people always need a place to live. See? That asset's growth is outpacing the leak. It's effectively protecting and maybe even growing your overall wealth.
Just understanding this difference, the leaky bucket versus the golden seal, that is the first and honestly the most critical step. So now it's time to start thinking about your next strategic move and how you can put this knowledge into action. Before we go, I want you to take just a second and think about your own life. What's the one thing you've personally noticed getting way more expensive lately? Is it your morning coffee? Gas? Rent? Let me know down in the comments below. Honestly, sharing these experiences helps all of us see just how real and widespread this is. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope this helps you see inflation not as some scary, confusing economic term, but as a challenge that you can actually plan for. Now, in our next explainer, we're going to open the doors and pull back the curtain on how the world's biggest investors use something called the vault to keep their money safe. You are not going to want to miss that one. See you then.